Hi, folks. Thank you very much for actually taking the next step to come into this section here where I actually going to go over what is Boxabl, what it can do. So before I get started, I'm going to just give you a little technical stuff. I'm actually on a green screen right now, and I'm actually going to use that green screen, and you're going to see some slides that's going to go over, again, without audio, just the video clips, because sometimes you have to see something to understand what is being said, and other times you could just tell them. My mentor used to say, Dimitri, you don't tell someone how to get a haircut or what your haircut look like. You show them, and that's why I want to show you that, so that you don't misunderstand what I'm sharing with you. If I was trying to describe it, so. And also understanding why is this so important? Why am I taking the time to do this? So for those who don't know me, my name is Dimitri Frederick, and I'll talk about myself in a second as well. So look at the green screen while I'm talking so you could see examples. And some of the video is going to repeat this as well as the slides. And I'm going to use some key points that I'm going to make. And then you'll see those key points, examples that are, that's online that you could see. So I'm going to give you an overview so you know right away what I'm going to talk about each step and then get right into it, okay? So the first thing is going to give you my disclaimer, because this is not for everybody, and also you need to understand that I'm going to scare you as well, which if you've seen the first video, maybe you got scared or you didn't, you're not scared enough per se, but I'm going to break down some things for you to help you, because it may still not be for you as well. Then I will tell you what you should look for at this company and why it's important, why I think it's important at least, and thank you for your time, by the way. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, like I said, and I'm going to go over each step of the steps. There's 3 steps down there of process you need to do, and you need to take a look at it to understand, because it's not that, direct, because there's multiple things that I'm going to explain and why they're important, why each of them serves different purposes. And then I'm going to show you my intellectual property, which is something I don't share often, which I actually, for those who do know me, I'm a private business person, been involved in business for over 30 years or so. And so I've built a good size of intellectual property the last 4 years, because I've been seriously re-educating myself, and again, been doing a lot of stuff in investors. So the old Dimitri that you see or you used to know is not the same Dimitri that you're seeing today. You only see what I'm doing right now, so it's a good example of that. I'm going to give you 2 bonuses also. When I do training courses, I like to give bonuses and to help you understand the bigger picture. So stick to the end, and you'll see those things. Lastly, folks, what I'm using is a business tool platform. Maybe some of you got to know it, or didn't like the steps I had to get you to go. Like, why don't I just tell you, right? It doesn't work like that. See, today I'm a system-driven person, and also I follow business protocols. And one of that, if you are a business entrepreneur, for example, you are looking at this technology, you may like it. You could click on the icon. I think it's on the right side, the logo, and you could actually get more information about that if you want to. But this is not what this presentation is about. So stick around to the very end. Like I said, I have a surprise I'm going to share with you and give you some bonuses as well. So here we go. Let's get started. My disclaimer, folks. Again, I cannot answer any questions for you because I'm just a messenger. So I cannot be legally binded, which is the reason why that I cannot answer questions for you. Not that I don't want to. I'm going to do my best to give you a lot of information, but I don't want you to assume or think that, sorry, my video closed out. I cannot tell you stuff, and then maybe you don't understand what I'm saying to you, and you get confused and information I'm sharing with. So I truly want to respect that, and also do right by this company, because it's very time sensitive information that I'm sharing with you. So again, I don't want you to assume anything, hence why I keep directing you to do your homework, go online, do the research, click on the links, information, they'll get you to this information as well. And also, I don't want you to have high expectation or any expectations that you happen to think or believe, because you have never invested before. Some of us have, and definitely know what I'm talking about. You make the sound decision whether this makes a good business sense for you, or position yourself per se or not. That's fine too. This is not a 401k, folks. And this is not that type of investment where, like I try to talk to somebody that was close to me, and they think they know investments like a traditional investment. So this is not that kind of investment, folks. I don't have the time for that. So it's not also a Roth IRA, and it's not a next egg opportunity per se. It's not a hot stock tip, like people like to give hot stock tips, but I don't do that nonsense, folks. I do data research before I even seriously invest in any stock or other type of business models, which is why I'm asking you to do the same thing. You may respect me, and I appreciate that, but do your due diligence as well. Don't just take my word for it for what I share with you. Lastly, I'm not a licensed person to give you any such business advice or financial advice, what have you. Aside from my personal sharing knowledge, again, what I know about the company that is, okay, and what we're talking about, so you understand clearly, folks, this is a pre-IPO option play, and you'll see more as I talk about that. Therefore, I cannot give you, again, any advice. Please respect that. But here's what I will do. I will send you the company's FAQ, which is online as well. And so if you had already submitted, you don't want to go any further, you could look at those FAQs. You get that automatically in your email. So make sure you check that and make sure you confirm your email in order to be able to see that. So you should have already seen that if you are looking at this part of the presentation. All right. So now I'm going to scare you. All right. You ready? All right. So if you have never invested before, been involved in any type of investments, that is pre-IPO type investments or some other things that I'll share in the future. Again, this is just going to focus on one thing, so don't expect you're going to get emails from me. I'm not about that. I don't have time to waste sending people mass emails. I'm not playing the convincing game. I don't do that nonsense, folks. So I'm someone that's been involved in business for, like I said, 30 years. So I do a lot of types of business and a lot of type of involvement. And again, I'm doing some cool stuff today. And it was, so important to me, if you saw my first video the intro on YouTube, that we miss some things. Sometimes there's a lot of things, opportunities. And so this was so big, and I'm explaining why it's big to me. Maybe it's not for you. Again, that's fine. I respect that. Why I had to share this, privately to people that I respect in business, that I've done business with, or people that I know, or personal close friends of mine. So my philosophy in business, because this is what happened, and this is what I do, because I spend my whole life researching. I'm a tech person, so technology, when I see it in innovation, I understand what it is. A good example, nanotechnology. I've been watching that since I was a kid, and here it is today, almost 30, 40 years, which is an example of this type of investments. So for you who are brand new, you may look at me funny, this and that, what the hell, Dimitri's talking about? Hey, it's not for you, understand that. So I set things, which is the philosophy I have when I come to investing, because I see it, I position myself, set it and forget it. I don't try to go, oh, what is it doing today? And like a stock, watching it go up, this and that. It's not that. Investing is different, and it's not the same type of investment that you used to looking at stock tips and not stock tips, stocks, and other type of cryptocurrency, maybe example. So you're not going to get rich overnight with this stuff. This is what I'm trying to make you understand, which is what I'm trying to stress to you all over again. And it's not going to be an overnight success. It's also not going to be some money that you're going to expect to see in return right away. And for most of you, based on your age, don't even expect, not to just get extreme, don't expect to even see the money. Like I said, I set it and forget it mentality means that I'm not needing that money. I'm not expecting that money back. So therefore, I don't care. And I accept that I'm going to lose the money. Let me move over so you can start seeing the slide if I haven't started, so you could understand as I talk. So there's a lot of risk, and that's why I'm trying to scare you for those who are fearful of things. You can't go back, and I'll explain that in a second. So you cannot also think that you're going to put this in, some money into this thing, and you're going to cash out 6 months later or even a year later. It does not work like that. You cannot expect to use your mortgage, folks. You cannot expect to use your rent payment, and you cannot, side money to do those things. And I explained in the first video, this is regulated products and services. And when you talk about investment stuff, this is SEC regulated things. So therefore, you will, if you actually move further than this video, and want to look at it further to invest, you're going to go to a criteria for qualification. So you can't just think that, okay, because it's not a scam, folks. This is something legitimate I'm trying to share with you. So further reasons why you should not invest. IPOs launch have delays, setbacks, and I share with you one of my business ventures that had a setback. Companies can stay private, which is one of the reasons why I don't want you to invest if this is your last penny that you're trying to put together to think you're going to invest in this thing. Because years can go by before a company launches. I'm actually going to, again, I keep forgetting to move over, I apologize. I'm going to show you some examples why you cannot actually expect to invest in something like this and think that you're going to get your money back right away, because it may never happen. The company may never launch, but this is not open to the public. This is a private sector type of investment stuff. And this, again, pre-IPO we're talking about here, especially in the area of Boxabl, is the company name. So the company stays private for years and never come out when you want it to, which is the key part. So you think you're going to put that quick money, turn around, make some bucks. It doesn't work like that, folks, investments. There is always the potential to lose everything. So don't go put all your eggs in one basket is the philosophy. There's only a short window, folks, also for you to cancel if you actually invest, maybe change your mind, or you got scared, or someone tells you some other nonsense, this and that. Hey, it happens to all of us. Respect that. But if you choose to move forward, there is a short window. So make sure you do your homework, learn what that window is of the pre-IPO launch and the time horizon before you can just cancel or expect your money. Because once the fund is locked in, you cannot just cash out. It doesn't work like that. Again, another reason why you should invest if that's your mentality. This IPO, again, to stress for you, because so when I was reviewing this notes, I was saying to myself, this should be on the reasons why you should actually invest. But again, I think differently from most people, I'm trying to show you the sense of urgency because there's certain mentality of mindset you need to have to invest. And here's one of the reasons, because this IPO has changed several times. So if you're skittish, you're playing around, this and that, you're not sure, time is of the essence. And I'm not here to use that as a ping pong game, to get you buy-in, this and that. I don't have time for that BS, folks. I don't. I'm trying to make you understand for those, because I know majority of people, first time, again, entrepreneurs invest and build for the future. Okay, consumers don't. So therefore, why I'm saying this, because I'm sharing these things privately at first to closest friends of mine. And then I'm going to open up the main video to the public. So don't think this is a get you nonsense. I'm not playing this game with you. So understand the timing of what I'm trying to share with you. Watch this. This IPO has changed several times. Example, July 27, which is when my friend and we started talking about this company, it was at $100 per share to trade. Okay. August 4th, which is when I actually invested, it was $1,000. And I didn't know that. She just recently told me that it was at $100. Like, damn, see, they didn't pay attention. So, because I'm busy. So $1,000, it's not a big deal to me. I shouldn't say that, but because there's a different mindset, like I say, with investors. That's why I say that. Versus knowing the potential. I'm all about potential. So August 4th, it came out. It was trading at $1,000. I shouldn't say $1,000. Its investment buy-in is at $1,000. The actual stock price, pre-IPO price, I should say, is 14 cents right now, which hence is the most important thing you need to understand right now. Publicly, when it becomes available to the masses, which is a short window in August of 2020, so you know this where you're watching this video, the price currently right now, it will be at 17 cents. Folks, the things that I've been watching happening, my friend and I were just sitting there, I'm like, oh my God. I've been investing, like I said, for a number of years, so I really don't believe that it can stay at 17 cents because for the public to when it opens up, because this thing is blowing up like crazy. People who know investments, who's in the know, actually have already surpassed the companies, and you'll see that if you click one of the links, you'll see the steps. You'll see they even took away the because it was $100,000 a goal, minimum goal, to over $1 million and change. It has surpassed that right now, folks. So they're still leaving it open. They're trying to raise over $10 million per se, and that's in the first round, folks. Which you don't know about rounds, different series of the open market for people to get involved. They call them rounds. That's what that means. If you don't know that, so this is whatever. If you win 2 weeks into the month, And so, sorry for those who take so long to put this presentation together. I'm a professional person, so I rather do things professionally because I'm not doing something quick. It's not about making a buck. I'm trying to educate you. So we've been watching this thing for a while. So August 4th, I could tell you I invested. We've been talking about this pre-IPO. I've been watching what's been going on with this company right now in the private sector. And August 25th, 27th, now it's 31st. That's the set deadline they had originally from the 25th of August to open this up to the public. By on the 16th or 15th, 14th, they have, I believe they took away the numbers they were showing you, which you'll see that in the clips. They had the track of investors, number of investors, and also the number of goals, how they are in reaching that goal. And I really believe they have surpassed it. Someone asked a question in commentary. I really think they've surpassed it, and just like this is just blowing up fast because a lot of people see this. And I'm hoping you're watching these videos, the side of me to see the concept, the philosophy, and regardless if you're in real estate or not, you see this thing, it makes sense, right? That's the point. So I'm stressing this enough for you folks because here's what's next. There's going to be a lockout period. So a lockout period means that, which is what I was trying to tell one of my friends to understand this. It's not an investment like, sometimes 401ks, you got a period of time where the job allows you to invest or come in and sign up for insurance. It doesn't work like that. So a lockout period can go for years, which is what I was trying to tell you. The lockout period, once the initial investment offering, that is, the round is complete, it's locked out. There's no more investing. There's no more going back. There's no more I will catch it the next time around. Simply because valuation of the company will change. The price entry for the share will probably change. It'll probably go up. If you see in the bottom of the page where it says to invest, it says you believe that this company is going to be worth $42 million at some point. That's one of the reasons why you are investing, or more. Could be less too, but I doubt it. So the price will either be much higher, folks, or worst case lower. Like I said, I doubt it. I have already missed two smaller investments on that same platform because I was screwing around. Basically, I wasn't that serious about it, and so on. And by the way, make sure if you're going to invest in Boxabl, which is a larger amount, that you do that first, because many of you, like I said, you got to watch your how much was it accredited investors or access. I forgot the words. Regulation A, I believe it is. Could be C, but it's the first one on the left that shows you how much money, if you are qualified to invest, so that you're not blowing all the money, because it's at least 1,000, and if it goes higher, that you need. So if you're going to invest more, make sure that you're not buying other stuff, because once you cap, you are capped. Another reasons why you cannot invest, folks, because this is what I mean. You are regulated in this because you're not an accredited investor. And if you don't know what accredited investor is, those are people, like I said, who's been in the know, that makes millions of dollars, or high income earners, that therefore they could afford to invest and lose money, versus they don't want average person like you and I, who are not accredited investors per se, to be buying stuff. So the concept got opened up a few years ago. I believe I have a slide on that, so I'll talk about that in a little second. And so that's why it's not, again, a get you type of thing. It's a process, and that's why you have a limitation. Because just like lottery, which I don't do lottery, but I played one of those big Mega Millions thing. They will not let you use a credit card. I'm used to doing everything with credit card. I don't do cash, and so I only could buy lottery with cash, because they know that people will go crazy, get credit card, and just like swiping it left and right, blowing away their paycheck. So therefore, like this concept, you have to be accredited to some level, and the government or the system, SEC system, how they do things, make sure that you're not blowing all your money, because there's a limited amount of money based on your income level that you can invest into. So that's one of the reasons why this may not be for you. So let me go back a little bit. So I shared, like I said, a lot of key things about the reasons why it's not for you. Um, so let me talk about elections. One of the reasons why it may not be for you because of what could happen, with if the Trump being reelected, or you could have Biden get into the office. So who wins the election, folks, plays a major part because it determines what the market does. It could break you based on timing of the economy if the company does go public. The end goal is for the company to go public, and I explain that further in a couple more slides. So the time is important. So if Trump wins, it could cause the market to be afraid. Depends on the kind of investor you are. It could shake up the industry, the economy, and it could even potentially collapse it because there's some dark times ahead of us, folks. And I'm not going to get into that right now, but that could delay the release of this company. Like I said, that electric car that I was looking at investing because of what Trump did caused the car to be delayed. Thank God it's actually about to, I was just emailed saying that it's available now to reinvest. So I'll be doing that shortly too. So the next thing is, it can also push the need at the same time. Even though Trump is in office, it could also push the need. So I'm not here to play politics with you. I'm giving you both sides, so understand that. Because guess what? There could be more homelessness, and I see it, and I'll talk about that further as well. The economy can collapse. We already are at the tipping point of depression, which they're going to fudge the numbers to tell you otherwise, but we are already there, folks, and it's already been said, so it's not me saying that. So it could be, which means that there will be more job losses that continues to increase, and every week I watch the job numbers as well. California, for example, has a record high of unemployment. So understand that, a record high unemployment, so it's going to get worse. So what happens if Biden wins? Okay, well, the potential stability of the markets, can make it so for the company to actually launch as a pre-IPO, which means that there's a whole buzz area when big hot stock tips like Facebook, Uber, and Lyft was becoming publicly released from being a pre-IPO company to publicly traded company. So people get crazy over that. I have a feeling this will be a hot buzz topic for this company in the future. So the markets can go. If the company Boxabl feel like it is safe and it's stable enough for the economy, they may open. But also the opposite, the tipping point, folks. We are at the tipping point right now. That could have already been so high right now that it could still cause a delay. So it's either way. Those people who are in the position to understand and regulations, they understand what's best. So you cannot time this thing, which is the point I was saying earlier to you. So the other factor, folks, coronavirus is still around. And it could be going, which I already know it will be going past 2021. And these are, when I say about homelessness, poverty, job losses, these are the other factors because there's a bigger game playing around that you need to fully understand and invest in. So all these factors play into it. It's nothing to do with to do with Boxabl, right? But this is how some of the things in the market happens that causes delays, and some reasons why if you're trying to borrow money or temporarily, whatever way you get the money from, if it's not something that you have, expandable money that you could go, without it, don't do it, folks. So I have said enough. Hopefully I've scared you enough. And if that's for you, then that's enough, right? You can stop right there. But if for those of you who are truly seeing so far what I've shared with you in the screen, you want to understand the bigger picture, I'm going to get started talking about that. Here's other reasons why you should invest. I'm going to talk about perfect example of Beyonce. Beyonce and Jay-Z, Ashton Kutcher, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Gwyneth Paltrow. I didn't know these last few people besides Jay-Z and Beyonce, but I have known about the story that you see in the slides of for a number of years. And actually, as I was doing research for this presentation, I learned some more things which I'll talk about in a second, because these folks, they actually invested in Uber and Lyft, and they made millions of dollars. is the point I'm trying to make you understand. They were early investors, just like what we're talking about right now, pre-IPO of the Uber and Lyft. Here's some other key point. Before you ever heard of them, that's why, oh, well, it's not a scam, folks. You're not going to hear about it. So this is big investment stuff that privately accessible to investors. And the doors have been open, like I was saying before. Let me just say this, just in case if I don't see it in my slides. I thought I had put it in. So May 2016, I didn't even know this till I was doing some research. The industry of accredited investors got changed, which means that it opened the doors for people like you and I to invest for the first time in our lives. The doors to accessing wealth potential was opened back in 2016. We didn't even know it. I was going through a personal loss, so I couldn't have known. I was distracted by a lot of things going on in my life at the time. So therefore, today, crowdfunding, you may have heard of crowdfunding. There's different levels of crowdfunding. This is a different concept of crowdfunding for investors. It's the pull of people, which is what this concept of, when we're talking about WeFunder, that allows you to, like a platform, which is what it is, to invest in these pre-IPO companies. And there's different types of investment. We're not talking about that again later on. But going back to Jay-Z and Beyonce, I have come to have a higher respect for Beyonce because watch the slide, folks. Watch what it said that she did. Let me tell you. And it's part of the philosophy to understand what delayed gratification means. I spent my whole life doing this in business. Watch this. Beyonce invested in 2015. I didn't know the year. Back 2015. And Jay-Z, which I didn't know even so, because they didn't talk about how much money Jay-Z made. They said, Beyonce made over $300 million. As soon as the day that damn company went public, Uber, that is, she made $300 million. Potential. Jay-Z, again, visionary, invested way before her. So you see that? There's 4-year gap difference between when Jay-Z invested and when Beyonce invested. Remember, you cannot sit there expecting a year to 6 months. This is not what this is about, folks. You don't control that. And even further than that, the company, because I watch a lot of stocks, I believe 2019, if worse, 2018. I don't think it's 2018. I think it was 2019, is when Uber actually and Lyft, I believe, opened up the same day, on the same day. They, which is the ride-sharing industry, they became a publicly traded company, and they trade at $30 a share. And I'm talking about 14 cents right now. See why I couldn't sleep on time? Watch this. 9-year difference, folks, is when Jay-Z invested. 9 years sitting there waiting, investing, cultivating. About to get spiritual on y'all for a second, reaping and sowing. Reaping and sowing. Waiting for the harvest to come about. Y'all trying to get a quick get-rich nonsense, this is not what this is about, folks. 9 years to make millions. Imagine that. We spent 4 years BS school to get a college degree that's worthless to us today. 9 years. We spent more in education for that. Just in grammar school alone. 9 years, folks. Millions. Beyonce did it again, which is why I have respect for her. She actually invested in Coachella. I didn't even know this, again, until I was doing this research, at $8 million. And by the way, if you saw the article for Beyonce, she had the option, $6 million. That's why I said sowing and reaping. $6 million that same day. See that? For us who's not millionaires, that's nothing. I'm sorry, that's a big deal. So therefore, for her, it's nothing. She's a visionary, have a bigger desire for more, abundance, to be able to make a difference today. Yet, we will take a quick, $10, $50, $100, one time. Sowing and reaping, folks, to get a harvest ready to make a difference. Watch this. So Coachella, she actually did it again. Had $8 million she invested, I guess, it sounds like from the story. In exchange for that $8 million, she paid for Coachella to have the rights to the show, which is, I think, a big fashion show, I believe, if I'm correct about Coachella. And then Netflix went on to pay her over $60 million for that. investment, folks. Investment. Understand that. So, like I said, the company has a $42 million evaluation right now. It's going to get higher than that because we have already surpassed the capacity that this company reached its goal in 2 weeks from officially launching to the public, folks. This is why wealthy people get wealthy and broke people stay broke, because we don't have access to the knowledge, folks. And this was so important to me that I said, I got to share. And like I said, I believe I said it in the first video, my friend and I, we discussed it several times because we know our people, the mentality, the mindset, the nonsense that we say, the negative philosophy. I don't care. See, you could get involved, don't get involved. I don't care. I felt I owe it to us because this was one of those biggest opportunities with potential that I couldn't leave it out to everybody, especially some people I know that have the means to do so. That's why I'm sharing this with you. After this company becomes public, like I said, I'm going to put this, open up the video information for people who choose to invest. There still will be time, but at different valuation period. And that's going to be interesting to watch. So I couldn't hold this information in personally. It wouldn't be fair as a black man to do that because I see the potential, and I'm going to show you why potential. Watch towards the end. Watch this. Let me go to the next slide. Next thing, folks. You've probably seen the videos of Elon Musk, a spaceship, which is not Elon Musk, of course, but it's kind of play on Mars. So no, Elon Musk is not invested in the company in the pre-IPO. I don't know that per se. There's big investors, which is some of the articles I'm reading from the website, that are interested in this company. And I like the philosophy that the founders have said, hey, if it was about get rich quick scheme to create something and make cash out, because these guys have built businesses before. A lot of these entrepreneurs, investors that's in it. So therefore, they built a new company, new concept, because they wanted to control it and do some right things because there's a lot of potential. And I'll talk about that again towards the end. But Elon Musk has actually put a $200 box, is what they call them, order for pre-orders, that is, for SpaceX stations. And I believe they're based out of Houston, Texas. So that's a big deal. And there's other big businesses, big investments, which you see some of the slides, like the government. They are invested in this. So it's not a consumer type of thing. There's other potential, which is what I see, and I'm going to share with you my intellectual property that I don't normally would share with anybody because I'm trying to help somebody right now. Watch this. The company is looking for partnerships. And so what they did is another reason why I have respect and no-brainer for me. They were looking for developers. So they're doing a developer play. Let me explain what that means to you. This is such a big deal for me because as an entrepreneur, I've come to understand the last few years of re-educating myself that you need to do what you do best and let everything else be outsourced. I don't do a lot of this stuff myself, but when we try to be in all to everything, the visionaries, they are creators. Creators create and then let somebody else, which is a training, and I have a future thing about that to understand that for those of you who are small business owners. Stop trying to do everything yourself. There's a lot of technology out there that will help you build what you believe is possible with your vision. So that's a big deal. They're going to let the developers, what they're using the money for right now, for you, if you don't know, is to actually build the system, the assembly line, the warehouse where this factory is going to be built to automate the process of building these modular types of housing. And they're ready to partner up with developers to actually prepare things and have them ready so that they just come, drop the house, boom. And they, as developers, we use this concept, and I'm talking about concept at the end, to build these houses faster and distribute it faster. Distribution is the key word. Again, folks, can't stress that enough. So you have to outsource the rest, and they understand that concept. So I understand this is not amateur hour right now. These are professional people, understand the importance of outsourcing and know what they do best. and let the rest take care of itself. All right. Like I said, they're raising funds to reduce the cost of shipping. Right now, they're currently at Utah, which is where they're centralized, based out of. They're looking to do, as my friend shared with me, to go on the East Coast side. They're also going to be internationally as well. So that's important to understand, because one thing you need to know, when you're having the house shipped to you, it's going to cost you mileage. So it's $2 per mile right now on the website. So make sure you keep an eye on that. And again, if you're purchasing that, which I'll talk about in a few minutes, you can actually determine the cost, how long it will take, and also the plumbing and stuff that you need to have, the foundation and so on. It's not much. Sometimes you don't need a foundation, but again, read that stuff. I'm not trying to give you options, advice, and that stuff. So make sure you read those things to make sure that it makes sense for you. Let me move on. So again, company, from all the things I've shared with you so far, is set for potential tremendous amount of growth. And there's an economic need for this technology, folks. Affordable housing in 2020 is not affordable the last time I checked. In the city, it depends on your city that you live in, your state. You know it's expensive. You know, a lot of people, either young generation are moving into the city, to the condos, skyscrapers, or older people are moving out of the city, or people that can afford to live in the city because rent is going up. So therefore, they actually find themselves going out to the Moody's and outside the city. So there's a need. It's not a thing that's just, oh, someone decided to be creative and do something stupid. It's not stupid. There's never been a greater opportunity today to create wealth, folks. And that's what this is about. So I've said enough. Let me tell you quickly a little bit about myself. So, like I said, I keep telling you over, I've been investing for 4 to 5 years, and this kind of concept. So this is nothing new for me. I own 4 assets, you know, and I hit a brag just to tell you some things so you understand this is not a gimmick. This is not Dimitri trying because you heard me talking for the first time. I've been doing a lot of things in the background that you don't know about, and there's a lot more to come. So many of my investments are passively earning dividends. Okay, so 30 years in business experience. Like I said, I don't sell stuff. I don't do convincing. I don't play that game. I'm simply here to inform you of what's coming. Be in the know, folks. Invest in yourself. There was some friends of mine I did not tell about this, and I want to come back to that right now. There's a reason why I didn't tell them. Like I said, you see the options and how long, for giving you a Beyonce investment with Jay-Z, how long it took for this thing to become publicly traded in Uber, Lyft. Some friends I love and I did care about, my closest friends. I didn't tell them all because, first of all, they're not business people. And also, I know they don't have the capital to invest in this. And I know this person, friend of mine, as I'm speaking, I'm thinking about dearly, I love you. And you probably see this later. It's not to be mean or ill will, ill spirited because I don't believe in you. I know you'll sacrifice everything for this. And this is not about a sacrifice. This is about having the means to invest in something, whether it's small or big or bigger, like Boxabl. I started at $1,000 investment. So if you wasn't positioned before to do that, scraping money, because like I said, regardless of my opinion, the WeFunded platform as regulated will determine that. And I didn't want to hurt you by saying that, by doing that. It's almost like sometimes you could say, you know, someone could look at things 2 different ways. Like, oh, he just want to show off to me. Not really, folks. I don't have the time for that. Or, you know, he didn't think about me. He think I'm broke. It's not about that. It's about knowing where you are. Most of us don't understand the position that God put you in place for, in the season that you may be in, was meant to be for a reason, because you haven't learned what you need to learn. I've been through that before. So I don't want you, because I know some of y'all would, as business people, would sacrifice everything. And this is not, like I said, explained already, this is not about a sacrifice. You know, this is not about a sacrifice, folks, because you may not see that money. As much as I talk highly of this company, it may never happen. And again, it's an investment. I've taken many risks in my life before, and I've lost good half of the time, if not more. So therefore, it's not one of those things that I cannot allow you to take that risk. You may see it later on, maybe understand it later on, but I know you not have the means to do that right now. So please understand that it's because out of love that I did this and didn't share this with you. So let me move on. I'm about to go over the 3 steps, folks, and I'll start wrapping up. So step number 1 is buying a Boxabl unit. Again, each one, like I said, if you read already, they're all separate. They serve as different things. So I've been talking about the pre-IPO investment, which is what I'm excited about to share with you. And this is what the whole message is. But like other businesses in network marketing, I have a background in network marketing as well, a small business, of course. In network marketing, some people don't believe in the product they buy, and then they want to sell it to you. How do you use it? Oh, I don't know. I never touched this stuff, right? So some of us invest in stocks, options, this and that, like I do in cryptocurrency, this and that. I look at the companies, do I respect them, like what they do, and see the potential? Then I invest. So in that sense, I invest. I don't have to own physically the product. This is a part that you could own yourself too, or you could play the IPO portion as well too. Honestly, right now, I don't have the means to actually go put the damn house somewhere. Just know that Massachusetts, and I'll talk about it in a second, does have the means, which is most of my friends are from Massachusetts. So I'm sharing that so you know, because my friend looked it up, Massachusetts, and again, disclosure, Boston, we didn't go look at Western Mass, which Massachusetts. So, but Boston, this is the city of Boston's website, that ADUs, which is additional dwelling unit, is possible, and it's something since 2016 the government has actually endorsed to do. So you should do that for yourself as well. So clearly, to help you understand this, to buy a Boxabl, which means that you're buying the physical house to be delivered to your house or wherever you want it to be delivered to, will cost you $200. And that's just to lock it in and priority. Just like I talked about the car investment, electric car that I had purchased before, I had to put I think it was 200 or 250 investment lock in. So say that I am serious, want to buy one, so that the company have cash flow, but also know who are serious investors ready to purchase this property. The full cost of this property is $50,000. One of the cool things, folks, look at the video if you haven't seen it and you wasn't paying attention. Being able to stack, that's powerful, like a hotel concept. Or why? So it's not one size fits all. The company, I didn't put the slide up there, but there's other sizes that they're going to work on, and then it could also reduce the cost. So again, volume increases, cost prices to go down. So keep an eye out for that as well, and you could actually talk to these people once you're purchasing a property for yourself and see what configuration that you have, because you don't have to get all just, because, you got to talk about hardware, refrigerator, water supplies and so on, a toilet, this and that. Like I say, it's a full house, but you could stack it up, have bedrooms on top or other things you want to do. And I'll talk about that, about my vision intellectually, property, what I'm going to share with you, how to go about using it. So make sure you use my link to get also some discounts that they have off the purchasing price for that. So if you are interested, you could purchase one as well. Again, separate from the IPO, pre-IPO. So number 2 is the pre-IPO. Step 2. So there's 4 types of investment funding. I say that because it's there when you're about to purchase it, it shows you. So again, this one is a pre-IPO play, which means that when the company goes public, they will offer shares, which is what you are buying at 14 cents right now. Later on, it'll be either 17 cents or higher to see. So understand that you are buying in the pre-IPO of the company, investing, hoping that the company will go public one day. Again, sometimes things that happen and it doesn't go public, it stays private. So know that you are buying at that price point, okay? And the reason I say that, there's 4 types, so because you may invest in other things in that platform, we find that is, and there's different criterias. So know the kind of criteria this company, Boxabl, is, and what kind of investment it is before you make that decision. I can't stress that enough, because sometimes there's convertible debt. There's also, you get shares or other things, but read it. I didn't put it in my list of things, but it's important to know. That's why I'm stressing that enough over and over to you. For those who have never invested again, in anything like this, is what I'm saying. Wall Street traders, folks, Wall Street makes millions of dollars each day from the spread of the ask and bid price. So for someone who's never traded, never seen options, never seen cryptocurrency, never seen all these other things, this is hot. 14 cents and 17 cents. It's a 3 cents play. There's a lot of money to be made because it's not about your money. It's about the millions of people that's trading options every single day that may be looking at this trade or pre-IPO, for example, and therefore they make their profit off that. So this is why the sense of urgency. To you, you think, okay, 17 cents. If you understand the math based on the thousands of shares that you are purchasing, well, you understand things like that, and you understand things like Forex, for example, they all use the same concept. They're using fractions of money, fractions of time, which is, getting to, option trading, that is, to invest. So again, 3 cents, whatever, 5 cents, 10 cents, whatever, that's what the market maker makes in profit in between that. So for you, like I said, can't stress it enough, folks, how important it is, if you're going to make a decision, to make the decision soon before the masses see it. Let me go into step 3, and I'm almost done. So how do you invest with WeFund is the key point. I've shared a lot about the company. I'm going to share my vision after this to help you, those who still don't get it, the bigger picture. That's the last thing I'm going to do. And then I'm going to share the bonuses with you. Okay? So, like I said, there goes the law in 2016 change, which allows companies like WeFund. There's other companies as well that have used to invest in. Okay? Some of them in real estate, some of them is just digital assets in the sense of both real estate and physical assets that you could purchase. So keep an eye out, and I'll share those things in the future with you. I'm only focusing on this platform to share with you with the time-sensitive need for you to see and make a decision based on the education of yourself and some of the things I share with you as well. So 2016 was a big deal. It made a huge difference for small business owners, hence why you could also, if you're a small business owner that I share this with, you could actually utilize this platform amongst other platforms that I'll be sharing in the future to actually get your startup invested and funded if you qualify, of course. So prior to that, accredited investors had the lock on opportunities, folks, to invest for themselves, invest for their family, create generational wealth as well. So that's one of the things that's just tremendously opened the doors for many of us, opened the door for me and my family as well. So WeFund is just that platform that Boxabl, like many other companies, like I said, there's 4 other companies for full disclosure that I've actually invested in. There's several other platforms. It's just that's the platform they chose to use. Doesn't matter, folks, if you're not familiar with it. Again, these companies are grounded. They regulated, like I said. So it's not something that someone could just put together and say, oh yeah, I'm going to start fund people. It doesn't work like that, folks. So understand that. They also can serve for you, like I said, like a startup, for you to raise funds for your business. So it's important. You could use it for that. So it's not for that purpose right now. We're talking about Boxabl, but they give you the option. So for those of you who are non-business folks, you don't need to set up a funding profile. So don't get leery. Don't get confused by that. It's just a platform that has and serves 2 different purposes as well. So, but it is available to those small business owners. So you can simply sign up for the free account. Like I said, I'm leaving you the link there. Do that first, and then you could click on the logo, whichever you prefer, as well. The logo will take you to the section. There's some key things you could see when you click on the logo of the Boxabl, and as well as for the, we call it WeFund as well. So you could actually see in Boxabl especially, well, it's still WeFund, I should say, excuse me. You'll see the Boxabl platform to invest in, but some key things about commentaries, as well as some things about the reputation of this company, what it's already accomplished. So like I said, it's not an overnight success type of story that I'm trying to tell you to get invested in. This is something that's been around for a number of years. And like myself, someone who understands key concept in business, that I'm going to share with you why this company has so much potential for growth. So that's about, again, the part 3. Now I'm going to get into share with you, for those who stuck around long enough, and I thank you and appreciate you for that. I'm going to share with you some of my key intellectual property that, again, I don't take lightly to just give it out publicly, because these are some investment stuff of how I'm going to utilize this technology in the near future when the means are available to me. But for those of you, because I have another business in a book, based on a book I wrote called How to Make Six Figures, what short-term rental. I can't remember the title right now, so I'm just telling you what it used to be. I changed the name since then, but it's basically in the short-term rental space. So again, I've been looking at this stuff, this technology, for a number of years. So one of the key things for me is that this, by the way, stuff I would share privately in my membership section. So I don't know if I said that because the reason I'm sharing this publicly is because my membership area, I'm still developing in I'm redesigning the site. So the site that you see in entrepreneurship.com is an old site. It's being redesigned right now. And then there's again, 21st century way of doing business. So there's a membership area that I'm developing right now. It's a free section, but when I talk about assets like this, intellectual property, I don't put that publicly. This is a private stuff that I would put in the future. So because it's not ready, you get it for free. So I appreciate that. I hope you do. So I'm going to drop some deep nuggets of knowledge with you for those who need to be stretched a little further to understand the potential of what could become with this Boxabl company. Watch this. Get to this. So the sense of urgency for the pre-IPO, I've already shared that with you enough times. The company costs $50,000. It costs $250 per month for a mortgage. Tell me where you could find that, unless you're in a whole deep south or in another country, of course. And I'm talking about Massachusetts. Folks, you cannot get that. New York, you cannot get that. California, for sure, you cannot get that. You could create a whole house for $50,000. And you could create stacks like hotels, which is something I'm going to look into investing in the future. Where do you find that, folks? You don't. And side note, for those looking at storm, I think I covered that later on, but I'm thinking about, I'm going to tell you, storms, weather conditions, the company designed this to withstand some certain level of grades of storms, so look again, I'm not going to tell you what it is. I can't remember off the top of my head, of course, but do your due diligence, folks, and look at it. This is not a gimmick. This is not a little shack you're putting together. This is legitimate technology they're using. So the other important thing is they will have different sizes, like I said before. So it's important to, if it's not for you right now, or the investment part of in buying one, they will have different sizes as well, which is cool and what it could do. Here's where I start dropping some knowledge. Housing development, folks. Massachusetts, like I said, endorses this kind of concept, ADU, additional dwelling units. So that means right now, because I know how Massachusetts is, it's available, but it's not going to be impacted or played upon or used until someone else has already done it. That's how we are in Massachusetts. So therefore, that concept, what that means is that you have a house, you have land space, you could actually build another house on top of it. In my book, I talk about what that kind of mentality concept is already being done. What happens, you have a single family house with a lot of land, they'll take it down, buy it from you, give you whatever you think you want, and you understand, because most of us are consumers. And then these developers will put a huge, big lot, and I have a couple of them that I'll be talking about in the future on my other platform. Condos, skyscrapers, duplexes, easily. My friend, she did that was done to her house, turn a duplex, prominent area of Boston, turn it to two-family condo. Of course, redesign it, fix it up, and so on. This is not a big important thing, folks, about Boxabl. You should know. Big industries who's been around for a long time, cab industry right now, for example, got shaken up when Uber came about. Boxabl is one of those industry leaders, and I'll come back to that towards the end. this thing, technology, folks, is gonna shake up how housing is done. Trust me on that, because there are 14 patents. If you don't understand patents, that locks it in, so that make X amount of years, decades or so, the company has proprietary rights. No one can copy what they do or steal the concept without being sued or paying interest and dividends for years. Powerful stuff. 14 patents, not just one, 14, folks. The concept serves so many purposes, and I'll talk about some of them in a second, and solves a lot of problems for folks and businesses as well. Again, this thing can reduce the cost of development time. Average house, on average, again, it varies, takes about 7 to about 15 months. And I'm talking about not only just houses, but I'm talking about big businesses, brick and mortar, I'm sorry, not brick and mortar, commercial properties, what I'm trying to say. And it's taken sometimes years because of delays. Within an hour, folks, from 45 minutes to an hour of this thing being delivered to your house can be set up. Nothing like this, folks. There's nothing like this. Actually, you know, I'll talk about that in a second. I'll skip to that. The other thing it serves is that, if you've seen the slides, quick release for disaster, natural disasters, folks. You could actually put, that's one of the things they actually focus on, showing government ways they could help, all these other countries that had natural disasters. You could actually set up, instead of tents, you could create a long-term solution that they could actually invest in for themselves. These people who actually lost their house, burned down. At the time of this recording, just this week, California, once again, every year, a forest fire, constantly being burned out because of the heat wave. So, a quick solution, folks, to help people who are disfranchised by losing everything, to help them build. There's so many, we call it construction people that could be all across the country, which is what they do. They travel and move this and that. This reduces the cost and time, and easily rebuild people's communities. People rebuild their lives easily and faster. So it serves also a temporary housing shortage issue. There's not enough houses that could build fast enough. This helps solve that problem, folks. Again, within an hour time, this thing could be set up. I love watching that video. Just watch that. It just makes sense. And just like, wow, in an hour, it could be up as well. So let me get deep into some of the key things, intellectual property I want to share with you. Like I said, I mentioned short-term rental. A lot of you guys from my short-term Airbnbs and other people who invest into different HomeAways and so on, different platforms. This is a powerful play for you guys, realtors. Powerful play for you guys too. Now you could actually increase your ROI by just having one of these babies, which is one of the reasons why I was looking originally at this kind of concept. And my concept, before I was exposed to this, I've been looking at 3D printing. Not that kind of 3D printing. I'm talking about where there's technology right now, which again, in the near future, I'll be sharing that to my email list. You could actually take, and well, not you can take, the company that's building, there's a couple of them, take a lot, empty, and you bring this company over, hire them. They will build and design the house for you already, and it's actually like a 3D concept, laying out cement and basically built a whole house for you. It'll take a whole day, see? Versus Boxabl, it'll take you 1 hour. 1 day, 1 hour. Which one you want? So, and that was more expensive, by the way. So that's what I was looking at before. But also what I was looking at, reason for it, is because I know that 3D technology, which is another thing I'm looking at investing in the near future, is going to play a major role in space, especially when we're trying to go to Mars. Again, I have a scientific background as well as that's what I studied in school. So the colonization of space, these kind of technologies will come in very handy, I believe, in the near future, to put up modular properties up faster. Set up military could use it as well for their own reason. The other play for many of you who are into real estate is the mobile trailer park units. So for the younger generation, this is a game changer for you guys. those who have mobile units areas that you are looking at invest, like I have been looking at investing, this is going to change and attract the new generation of millennials or new generation of people coming about, because now it's more efficient, more modern. And when you think about old school, you think about, oh, a mobile house is ugly. No, folks, when you see the potential, what it looks like, it's so modern, it's attractive, it's appealing. And I think for those of you who are in the mobile trailer parks areas, this is going to, again, of course, new section, new units, new developments. This is going to be a big game changer for you to actually put properties there and actually start building them. And again, people could buy it, take it with them too. So it's not something that can be locked in forever. You lose out, and you could still sell it. So it serves so many purposes. Like I said, it's powerful what it could do. So that's some of the things I'm looking at as well. So like I said, housing developments in 1 day versus 6 to 10 months or so plus to actually do that. You could extend your house value, like I said earlier, by adding another rental unit. Not necessarily Airbnb short-term rental, but a residence. You have your residence, you want to make some extra income. It's not going to cost you another $250,000 to $500,000 plus to build a house. Within 1 day, you could have that delivered to your property, have the space, have it, again, prefab ready with what it needs, the proper plumbing and so on. You're all set. And now you generate money, and you could pay that, man, $50,000, less than a year, you could pay that. It's amazing potential. So again, powerful way to utilize this as well. And for those, like I said, Massachusetts, you have the space in your property area. Guess what? You could actually do that. I don't want to tell you one of the places I want to put it at. It's nice. So let me talk about the next thing. Potential hotel and motel concepts. Like I said, if you watch the video clips that you were seeing, powerful stuff, right? That you could actually build stacks. So it's not just a one linear level of property or concept that you're stuck at. You could actually have the developers design it for you so that second floor is all bedrooms. Second floor could be office spaces, and so on, which I'm going to talk about next. So you could create a double, triple stack of a hotel space. And then you could build wide as well. Powerful stuff, folks. So that's amazing. So if possible, I would invest in land, which is another play you could use to actually put these things on and actually create whether it's going to be a mobile park or basically other real estate community properties that you want to invest in. So next, like I said, the rental service units, for office spaces. So build your own home office, which is one of the things I was looking at this for as an investment play. Create your own office space. So let me say this for a second. I've been looking at this for the last 2 years. Office space, rental co-working space is what they call. For those of you, I have a whole review of that. I'll share that in the future on a different segment. This is not investment portion, but it'll be just entrepreneur stuff I'm sharing. For small business owners, again, coronavirus, being shut down, working from home, this is going to play in a big role in how we do business in the near future. You could utilize this concept of Boxabl to generate passive income by offering office space services, something I've been looking at as well for myself. So again, another powerful way you could utilize this technology to create passive income on the side. Of course, not really the word passive, but again, generating income for you and your family. So you could start a band. Instead of making all that noise in the house, you could start a band. You could also start, like I said, a new business and cooking shows that you could utilize in separate places so that you didn't try to burn the house down like your partner, husband, and wife, whoever's the cook, you having all these pots and pans. Now you could create right behind your house as well as a dedicated space to utilize this to actually record, because it's another important thing for you for those influencers and YouTubers, to record your whole show, put stream on strobe lights and so on above, have a full studio, available. Not a play, something I'm looking at. Let me get deeper to you, those of you who are pastors and ministers. Powerful stuff. Build your church faster and cheaper than ever before. So those of you pastors have been looking for church space, buildings per se, this is another powerful way to do it, cost effective. You can raise $50,000 easily, guys and gals, I should say. than building a new building. $50,000. So you could own it outright than leasing it or renting it. Some of you are doing that right now, I know. I've watched a church back home built a semi-trailer, unit, and it was being used for storage. For those who don't know, an average mobile trailer, again, different size, range from $86,000 to over $100,000 to be built, to buy, minus or on top of shipping it to you, which is this costing that. So for $50,000, for a simple mortgage of $250 a month, folks, you could actually design a Boxabl unit how you want it to be. Cool. How many shelters, folks, pastors, can you build behind your church? If you have property, of course. How many different programs can you create with their open space that you have? See that? How about in your school, the third floor? Schools in third world countries. Powerful stuff. You could build that faster. Instead of waiting months, trying to do more fundraisers. $50,000, folks. That's all it takes. How about charity work? Poor countries like Haiti, where I'm from, Dominican Republic, Honduras, and other Caribbean islands, for example, a powerful play. They don't have to spend all this time to have the proper housing codes. It's already designed for that. Majority of the housing codes, regulations, already fits, unless it's extreme area. It already fits for that. It's designed for that. So countries, Trump thinks it's a country, but Puerto Rico, for example, part of our properties, territories, the devastation they face, they're still struggling for that, still trying to rebuild. You could put one of these babies right there, or multiple units, easily change people's lives. That you can't solve the electricity issues, of course, but guess what? You could put solar panels on top of it. You'll see some of the slides for that too. The structure is designed to withstand weather, bad or good conditions. You could read more about it, like I said, in the links of the company when you go to the site. So I'm about done. I want to leave you with a quote. I'm going to give you my first bonus. Many years ago, I read a book. I can't remember the name of the book, but one of the powerful quotes that I've heard, and I love to say it over again, is how I like to wrap up for those of you who stuck to watch this whole presentation. A candle loses nothing when it lights another candle. Let me repeat it again. A candle, folks, loses nothing when it lights another candle. Thank you for your time. And I hope I have done that for you today. If you stick around still, I'm going to give you the bonus that I promised you. Watch this. So I've written a course, because that's one thing I'm doing, e-learning courses, trainings for small businesses. And what I've done is to help small businesses who are old school brick and mortar businesses to understand how to use and utilize marketing. And in that course, I'm going to share one tip that's very powerful in the course. And it's based on Henry Ford's philosophy. Those who don't know Henry Ford, he actually created Ford. So if you have a car that's a Ford, this is the founder, creator, the visionary behind that. Sometimes you'll see his commercials depending where you are across the country. But Henry Ford changed the car industry when he developed the concept of the assembly line. I mentioned that earlier in the beginning. McDonald's, folks, the McDonald's brothers, they created the system that made the fast food industry, which is the restaurant industry, what it is today. The assembly line of fries, pans, timer, flipping a burger, all that stuff that you see today, that's modern day technology. McDonald's was the founder and visionaries behind that. But they had a side flaw. I have a movie. You could actually check out that movie, because if you haven't seen that movie, I can't remember the exact title, but it may be Ray. I think it's called Ray Kroc, because Ray Kroc is the one that made McDonald's what it is today. The title, the name, is the brothers that created the invention, and they didn't even see the full potential what McDonald's, more importantly, why they created the system behind that. Hence this point. Before I go there, let me add you another key point to understand. The reason why you want to watch the movie, which is shocking, mind-blowing to me, Taco Bell, Burger King, Subway, and many other companies came to the brothers to learn the system that they are using today. The system, folks. Some of you are only looking at this as a housing play. I'm a visionary, folks. And many of you may not know me, and that's fine. But I've been doing this stuff for a number of years. I see bigger potential and therefore position myself and my family for success. And that's why I'm just sharing this with you. I didn't have to. I just choose to. So here's the point of what I'm trying to say to you. The founders of this company are Boxabl. His name is Palau Teramani. Apologize for messing up his name. He's a visionary. He earned my respect when he talked about previously developers, partner up with developers to create more Boxabl housing because it makes sense. So instantly I understood the bigger play. So make sure that you go to the back, maybe rewind the video to see the section about housing development that I talked about, because that's what I was trying to stress to you with the 14 patterns. Powerful stuff. So the CEO, folks, he has just created the assembly line of how to do housing. Understand that? Henry Ford did it. The McDonald's brothers did it. In this day and age, folks, you have the opportunity to create and participate in change. Folks, the things that I'm going to come out in the near future, you'll see that as an entrepreneur in my platforms, I only touch and I only talk about 21st century stuff. Many of you are still talking about, I wish I got into Microsoft. Microsoft is long gone and saturated. Many of you talking about, I should have got into Facebook. But Facebook was in pre-IPO. I don't remember the year Facebook was launched, but if anything, it was probably before 2016. Big investors got access to that. Why didn't you? Because you didn't know about this stuff and that it existed. This is not a gimmick, folks. So here's bonus number 2. And this is what I want to share with you. For those of you who don't know, I'm a poet. I've written a poetry book as well. And as I was finishing this presentation for you guys, I felt a poem coming on. And therefore, I want to close. Last thing, I'll close with this poem with you to help you understand the bigger picture that God has in store for you, to be a blessing, to light your candle, folks. So thank you for watching, everyone. The title of the poem is called Timing. If only it could stand still for a second or two so that I can catch my thoughts of what was, what wasn't, and what never came true. Where would I have begun to understand the opportunity that stood before me? Is it my time or your opportunity to see what others don't, to envision what others won't, to dream of what others pass on as an afterthought in hindsight? I wish I had, I wish I could, I wish I would. Versus, I am glad I had, I am glad I could. To have today what others could. Should I have thanked my lucky stars or the Creator above? Or rather, should I have praised Him for the many blessings He opened my eyes to? To walk by faith and not by sight, to see glimpses of the future untold to Thee, to journey into the unknown rather than that which is. For time waits for no one who sits idle on the sideline waiting for the next one to come around. For every second, for every minute, and every hour counts. For each day, each month, and each year that passes by. Would I think back in regret or rejoice of the choices that I made when this clock strikes 0? Thank you. My name is Dimitri Frederick. Hope I've been a blessing to empower your family for generations to come, regardless of what happens. At least I opened the doorway to help you understand the power of what's coming about. Take advantage of it. Don't sleep on it. Amen. Peace out. Dimitri Frederick.